our special series Clean Air, My Right. I'm Ume Kulsum. Well, I'm on one of the most luxurious streets in Delhi, Amrita Shergill Marg, but I'm actually here to soak up the greenery, and you won't believe me, I can hear at least 5 different birds chirping at this point. Now, Delhi, despite its amazing green cover, also has the dubious distinction of being the most polluted city in the world. This time, it's your story. How did your city get this polluted? Like Bengaluru, for instance, was once considered the garden city of India with London-like weather. Today, it's neck and neck with Delhi. What's changed? Now, authorities seem to be understanding that there is a problem and they have a few suggestions. Maya Sharma tells us about it.
Need fuel for your vehicle in Bengaluru? Well, make sure that vehicle has an up-to-date emission certificate. This is one of the suggestions being made by the state's Pollution Control Board to help clear up the city's air.
Emission testing, pollution testing has to be done at mass scale, especially by lorry associations, and also those who do not follow these instructions have to be denied fuel.
Air pollution is indeed a major problem in India, and the hope is that this suggestion will be welcomed by road users, even if it means a bit more effort on their part.
I think it's a very good move by the government, and I think in the future also a lot more stringent rules should be implemented by the government.
It's a good initiative. Whether it works or not, well, that's left to be seen.
Other measures are also being considered to clean up the city's air. These include signal-free roads so that there is faster traffic and less idling of engines, more buses to encourage people to use public transport, banning of vehicles more than 15 years old.
Even I don't have very clear idea about how it can be stopped. Now we have also asked the government to restrict the number of vehicles that are to be registered at Bangalore.
An emission test on a car in progress. Now, plans to actually deny fuel to people who don't keep their vehicles with up-to-date emission certificates. Will that work? Well, certainly cleaning up the air in our cities, in our countries, is a national emergency. And probably anything that helps to clean up that air should be welcomed.
Well, people who are part of the solution seem to be facing the brunt of it. People who walk, people who use the cycle, people who use buses, people who work out on the streets, people who cannot afford going to a doctor. Like, ever thought of what happens to a traffic policeman who stands for hours inhaling those toxic emissions directly? Alok Pandey reports from Patna. What happens to all these people? Now, Patna again is second only to Delhi when it comes to air pollution.
At Patna's iconic and perennially clogged Gandhi Setu that connects the capital to North Bihar, a 9-hour shift manning traffic without even basic protection from air pollution is not something that Home Guard Suresh Yadav looks forward to. In 2014, the World Health Organization said that Patna is India's second most polluted city after Delhi when it comes to air pollution. The last 6 years have seen a huge growth in the number of vehicles in the city.
भगवान ही बचा सकता है और हम लोग को कोई उपाय नहीं है मेरा.
Like Mr. Yadav, hundreds of other constables of the Bihar Police and Home Guards man many crucial intersections and roads in Patna, an area where roads are virtually clogged round the clock for 8 to 9 hour shifts. Most of them have no protection, and that means that they are exposed to a variety of possible diseases that emerge from air pollution. Someone equally vulnerable is this 45-year-old cobbler who has worked on this Patna roadside for 20 years now. Last year, the levels of a major air pollutant, the PM10 particle emitted from vehicles, was more than twice the permissible limit for Patna. कम से कम कोई मास्क पहन लें या कुछ पहन लें जिससे बच पाएं.
हाँ पहल लेंगे अभी
लेकिन आज तक नहीं सोचे।
ना सोचा नहीं।
We analyzed data of lung cancer cases. We found that 30% of lung cancer patients never smoked in their life. So it's not just smoking that is causing lung cancer. Environmental pollution has a huge role to play.
It also doesn't help that the apex body for controlling pollution in Bihar has been largely ineffective in controlling either vehicular pollution or the pollution arising out of building construction, another major factor. Many vehicles in Patna and almost all autos run without any pollution certificates, but the board says it can't do it all.
राज्य सरकार को हम लोगों ने कहा है कि जो 15 साल पुरानी गाड़ी है जिससे कि पॉल्यूशन ज्यादा हो रहा है उस पर पुनर्विचार करें कि उसको क्या करें.
But until the government and Patna residents get much more serious about the air they breathe, there will be no breath of fresh air for the city.
Rural India depends on biomass for cooking. In fact, 87% of rural households in India use biomass, that's the chulas, burning of wood and gobar to actually cook food. Now Neha Musi tells us why it's bad and what it's doing to people.
In Barabanki's Masoli village near Lucknow, Sunita is cooking lunch for her family of 6. Battling the smoke from the mud stove, which uses firewood and cow dung, commonly known as biomass. The thick smoke bothers her as she blows into the stove, often closing her eyes to stop them from itching. अभी आप दवा कोई नहीं ले रही हैं?
नहीं, अभी समय नहीं, हम जा रहे हैं.
Most other women from the village complain of frequent cough and breathlessness while cooking.
खाना जब बनाए थे तो चक्कर आ जाता, आँखें से मालूम दिखाता नहीं है और बस बेहोश हो जाते हैं एकदम से.
धुआं जब लागत है तो बहुत तेज खांसी आती है.
According to the latest census figures, 66% households in India use biomass for cooking, including 87% rural households. In Uttar Pradesh, the figure is 80% of households use biomass for cooking, which includes 92% rural households. The biomass smoke produces harmful pollutants like black carbon soot and carbon monoxide, resulting in serious long-term health implications.
Biomass exposure has the almost same amount of pollutant that normal cigarette smoking has. And this causes basically a condition known as chronic obstructive lung disease.
For most rural women, the problem is compounded by lack of access to basic health care. Doctors say since these problems develop over long term, by the time patients approach hospitals, it is often too late, resulting in many deaths.
It is not only the lung, it also causes, secondarily involves the heart, which is called as a cor pulmonale, which gradually causes heart failure in the long term.
A World Health Organization study estimated that over 10 lakh people died in India in 2010 due to indoor pollution, while the figure for outdoor pollution was 6.2 lakhs. Recognizing the mammoth task at hand, the government has launched a national biomass cookstove program.
They are certainly more efficient in terms of the fuel uses, and also it reduces the indoor household air pollution. Largely because the combustion is better, and also in addition they also have the provision for the secondary air. But there are certain issues, especially of the adaptability and acceptability at the rural level.
Air pollution is usually considered an urban phenomena which can kill. But what often lies forgotten is this haze of smoke emanating from these chulhas that has made indoor pollution a deadly reality in rural India, putting at risk millions of women and children of our country.
Well, time now to take a short break on Clean Air My Ride. On the other side, we'll continue of stories from cities on what the air is like.